Hello everyone, welcome back. Good evening. How are you guys doing? Hope it's not going as bad as one would expect. Yes, I know, this does not look good. We are dropping indeed, and one could even say that it is painful. So, I'll agree with you there. Okay, anyways. Thursday evening, what are we expecting tomorrow? A Friday, and Friday can bring some really good volatility, or really bad. We're gonna discuss that tonight. So we are down today. By the way, does this look greener to you guys, or is it just me? Like, the usual green that I'm used to looking at is this, but then like this green just looks way too much. It's too vibrant. I don't like it. But anyway, who cares about colors when you're losing money left, right, and center? I did get liquidated for shorting a coin, believe it or not. Yeah, I know. Even when the markets are crashing and I'm shorting, I still get liquidated. It is insane. It's a funny one though. Like it's pretty laughable. I didn't put too much in. I entered this new project that exists now called XPL. This is Plasma. It's basically a competitor to, based off my understanding, competitor to XRP, XLM, right? X Ripple, X Lumen, Stellar Lumen, XPL for Plasma. So it's kind of going down that route. Okay, sure. It was number 50 on the coin market cap. I'm like, yeah, this thing shot up a lot, and I keep seeing it all the time. Like, oh, it's making so much gains, so much gains. It's got to drop eventually. The answer is no, I guess. I shorted here and it ended up going all the way up here to 145. Kind of showing a bit of signs of slowdown. We are severely overbought on that one. So, hey, while the market is crashing, you got coins like this that are just rising for absolutely no reason. Well, the real reason is that it's just, its mainnet was launched today. I'm sure it's getting some listing approved as well. So it's got that going on for it. Unlike Bitcoin, the mother of them all, it's just crashing. It's on its way down. We have broken the uptrends. I'm ready to throw in the towel, guys. Cancel the bull run. It is over. Right? Wrong. I am not scared. I am not panicking. I am very far from being liquidated on any of my long positions. The 3x leverage is doing me well. Although a bit of a disservice while we are heading downward. Sure, this is temporary. This will pass. I'm sure of it. The main narrative is a couple stuff going on. Government shutdown. World War III with NATO, Russia, Ukraine. Which is stupid. And long liquidations. Okay, sure. What was the other reason? I already forgot. It was probably too irrelevant for me to remember. Oh yeah, PCE data that will be coming out tomorrow. We're no longer going to get our rate cuts anymore. Oh no, the markets are kind of pricing that in. I think it's an exaggeration. I think the markets are too greedy. We were definitely over leveraged, so we deserve this, and I'm proud that it's happening. Not really. Like, it sucks to see your portfolio do this, right? It's not a pretty sight. But I tell you, we are chilling. We are not panicking. My strategy remains intact now, matter of fact, is the time to be buying. Not what I was doing in the past with, like, oh no, it's gonna take off before me. Literally just last week, we were all looking at markets like, yeah, I think alt season is kicking off by now. It's definitely starting. It seriously looks like it. We are so back. And now what's going on today? It's so over. We're done. Cancel the bull run. No alt season. No Q4. No such thing. Cycle has topped. 124k was the top. That is it. Have a good evening. No. No, that can't be the case. It's definitely not. It's a small blip in the market. I say small, but it's one of the bigger ones. I've checked, I think, one of the analysts stating that we haven't seen some indicator he mentioned. We haven't seen these kind of oversold levels since, at least at this pace, since April 7, which, if you know what happened on April 7 and where we are right now, there's absolutely no reason to be panicking at all. So, once again, I stand my ground. I'm not concerned at all. Did I run out of money? Yeah, probably. I may or may not have had to um send a couple more dollars onto the exchange, but hey, it's for the greater good, and I'm confident in what I'm doing, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Right here, live for you guys. And if I lose it all live, so be it. I really hope not, though. Like, I can't really afford to lose this. But that's besides the point. That's why we manage our risk moderately, right? Yeah, it's risky. Yeah, I could lose it all. But what are other people our age doing? Our age, my age. I don't know the age of you people, but they're all working away, trying to make a wage. They hear about crypto stuff, but they don't know how to do any of it. I, on the other hand, I've decided to skip that, have decided to study it profoundly, and although I'm not the best, but I try to do my best, right? And that's ultimately all that matters. You cannot give up even if you do lose money. I'm giving a bit of a motivational speech here as if I lost money. I did not lose anything here at all. Only $100, whatever, but that's fine. Like, I don't care. That was just I was a bored play, right? Anyways. So, this is what we got going on for it. 109,372 for Bitcoin. We hit a low of 108,646. And that is where we have a support, at least from our pivot levels, because if you're looking at Fibonacci, what do you even want to look at with Fibonacci? It's already too far gone, in my opinion. Yeah, we definitely broke through this one. What is this? 109,500. So we're kind of hovering around there, ranging around here. I was expecting us, a couple days ago I called, we were going to be ranging until we get this economic data, which I was hoping wasn't as terrible as we expected it. It was good economic data overall, but it's just bad for rate cuts, and that is why we are seeing a crash over here. But I think that's too harsh. Like, come on. The economy is doing fine. We'll discuss the economic data when we get to our news section, but yeah, there's your spoiler alert. It has to do with the economic data, it has to do with the rate cuts, part of the reason why we are crashing. Which I think is an exaggeration. You guys are being too greedy. I'm speaking specifically to Wall Street. The ETF outflows are there. They started selling off a little bit. Okay, we're no longer on all-time highs with stocks and things like that. The divergence happened a while back. Gold is hitting all-time highs, but Bitcoin was not. So that was a bit of concern going on there. But we do know that Bitcoin does trail the movements of gold with a lagging time difference, right? So when that happens, I mean, if gold is hitting all-time highs, Bitcoin will as well. It is the digital gold. It will go up. Don't listen to what Peter Schiff is saying on Twitter. He's literally like saying, oh, look, even silver is outperforming Bitcoin. It's going to pop the Bitcoin bubble or whatever. Yeah, he could say whatever he wants, but no. Bitcoin will make its move. Mark my words. Is the bottom in? It could be. This could literally be the bottom, and then we just head up higher from here. Absolutely. I probably shouldn't even say stuff like this because it's such a blanket statement. Yeah, if this is the bottom, good. If this is not the bottom, then whatever. But then it's like, okay, I'm basically saying nothing with that kind of phrase. So, my opinion. Yeah, we could bottom out over here. Tomorrow we're getting inflation data, PCE data. And how bad can it be, realistically? It could be pretty bad, actually. We don't want inflation to be too high. We want it to be low to incentivize the Fed to cut rates. The data that we got today disincentivizes the Fed to cut rates, specifically in relation to the economy, the jobless claims that we got today, the labor market, right? The main thing that they were focusing on, that is why markets took a pretty good hit today. We'll discuss that later. I gotta stop talking about it. But yeah, moving on here. Okay, no changes to Bitcoin. What did I buy? What happened since yesterday until today? This is from a couple days ago. That's actually not what I'm looking for. Okay, here we are. 24, 25. Okay, so I bought more Hyperliquid today. I opened my short position on what is this called? Plasma? And then it closed. Sure, whatever. I lost on that. Only $100. Don't care. Didn't ask. And with USDC, purchased more Solana today, which was good. I'm happy about it. But it kept on dropping even harder after that, which was a bit disappointing. It was slightly in the green, but it just started dropping afterwards. We bought more Ethereum. Yes, that's right. Ethereum dropped below 4,000 today. We bought more Sui. We bought more Pengu, which I was not really expecting, but hey. Pengu was like a very far trigger order that I had, and I'm surprised that it hit. So, biggest meme coin play right now is on Pengu. Although I've dropped my average price pretty well. I've got that for silver lining here. I'm pretty well loaded up on Pengu as well. What do I got? 2,000? Oh boy. Good prices to buy. Oversold RSI 4 hours. Important. Important to look at that. Great. Okay. Research coin, it's still halfway towards losing me money. I also did a small play on it, $100, just to see what happens. You see, when you see a coin do something like a shoot up in the green like this, you're like, okay, so what do? Do I buy? Do I sell? If I sell, it's just going to keep going higher. If I buy, it's just going to stop there and start dropping. And you're literally seeing this play out in front of your own eyes. I purchased RSC, immediately drops. I purchased XPL. I mean, I shorted XPL right over here somewhere, and it just rose against me even harder. So it's like, okay, there's no winning on that. You might as well just stay away from those. Unless you want to gamble. You could gamble. It's fun. But yeah. Hello, Marinault. Do I hedge my longs? No, I don't. I mainly usually focus on long positions. I feel like it's easier to work in one direction only. I have in the past, I have tried it, but it's ultimately you end up paying more fees because you're both longing and shorting as well. So I try to avoid that the best I can. I end up saying, you know what? I'm seeing where market sentiment is low, where people are fearful. That's when I take advantage and just focus on long positions. I feel like it's easier to manage long positions because the worst thing that can happen is the coin drops to zero. And you can add more margin to cover up or reduce your liquidation price to that $0 price, right? Or if you're still confident in the trade and price is still going against you, you just purchase more instead of adding to your margin, right? So that will help lower your average price. And ultimately, when market starts making its moves, which when it makes it moves, it starts rising like crazy. So we've seen this, right? That's when you take advantage of the gains ultimately. And I'm not a fan of shorting markets either way, especially when it comes to something like Bitcoin. We know the prospects of Bitcoin, why it's important, hedge against inflation. Why do you want to short a project like that? First of all, you're hurting a lot of people who are also longing on this. Keep in mind, a lot of people, they have their money in this too. So do I, of course. Yeah, I know, we're all investing our money in here. We have the expectation that we could lose it all. Don't invest more than what you can afford to lose. But it's also people that have a vision for this. We have, like I said, the prospects for Bitcoin, they're generally positive. We know that it will continue rising, so why would you bet against it, kind of thing. I saw a post where it's like, Bitcoin has no roof because the dollar has no floor. The dollar just continues devaluing. So that's an important message to be aware of, and that is why I only long Bitcoin. If I was to short anything, I would do it on altcoins, but me personally, like just shorting in general, no. That's why I don't hedge. Do I think it's going to bounce from this fall? I am hopeful that it does. I'm sure we're like really oversold at this point. Like, how much lower can we go? We've already wiped out billions of dollars from the crypto market cap in general. And we're not seeing like stocks or commodities for that matter being affected as much as we are seeing crypto. So I think this is part of it had to do with like manipulation that we saw before. that initially started this crash over here, and then all this negative sentiment that is going around on CT, crypto Twitter, pushing prices lower, all this, the economic data that we've been getting, the talks about the Fed is no longer going to be cutting rates, it's wiping out the people who are being a little too greedy in the markets. And in my opinion, that is a good thing, because I want, although it could be slow, but I want an organic kind of growth. I don't want an over leveraged, everybody's going along 25x with a certain liquidation price and we just rise from there, because, you know, the crashes will be greater as well when that does happen. And it's not good, I guess, right? So we want slow organic growth on Bitcoin. Do I think it's going to bounce? I've seen sentiment change on crypto Twitter now to a lot of people saying, okay, well, now's the time to buy the dip. And I think it's happening. So I do believe, yes, we will bounce right around this area. If we do continue lower, though, our last support, I would say, is 107,000. But just compare where we are right now to where we were in the past. Over here, we did not have rates cut. And we weren't expecting to have rates cut as well. We were expecting it, but it was same narrative that we're seeing right now. Oh, we're getting economic data that is not favorable for rate cuts. It could be so over. And after that, we started getting more favorable data and, you know, institutions started buying into it again. And ultimately, the day when we got the rate cuts, that's when we basically topped around there. 2 days after, sure, and then we started dropping once again because we're getting this economic data again. So I feel like that's practically the only reason why we are pushed down a little bit, but we can bounce up from here. So I'm confident in a bounce. And I'm going to see if I can buy some more on this dip. I'm not sure if I really want to go all in, because I'm practically really close to going all in, right? I've only got a couple $1,000s left before I genuinely run out of money. And that's, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. I'm well positioned. Like a lot of these, they may seem like I'm losing a lot of money, but just compare the distance between my entry prices and my average prices. They're not that far off, in my opinion. Maybe Sonic is, yeah, sure. But the rest, like, it's not even that bad. So yeah, I'm going to analyze what I can, see what I would like to enter, projects I do truly trust in, and even things that are a bit underexposed and you know, not the best performing ones. I'll try to load up on those if I can. That's the plan. So let's go to it. Ethereum below 4,000. It sucks. I know. 3,940. We hit a low of 3,840. Sorry, 824. We actually broke through this support just immediately, it seems like. We did slow down at the 3,845. From here, we don't have any more supports. Like, how much lower can Ethereum really go? That's another point I want to make right over here. On an asset like Ethereum, especially when it comes to tariffs, Ethereum, for whatever reason, is the one that falls the most. And I know I just mentioned tariffs. Yes, Trump just announced new tariffs. We will be talking about that as well. This is the last support that we had on Ethereum, right over here. So, I mean, the bounce was deserved. RSI oversold down there as well. Bounce is deserved. So, I don't see Ethereum dropping lower than this, honestly. Yeah. Oh, you shorted Ethereum from 4,580, still holding. You shorted Bitcoin at 123,000 till 107, and you re-entered 114. That is crazy good. That is really good. You're better on shorting hedge. Okay. I see. That's interesting. Good. I mean, for Ethereum, yeah. When it's crazy. Like, Bitcoin will make small movements downward, and, you know, you see Ethereum making larger movements downward, typically, right? And for whatever reason, it's just like, it seems to be because Ethereum has the ETF, right? And a lot of Wall Street investors are in there, to the point where we start getting a bit of a spook and bad news. they dump those Ethereum ETFs first. I'm sure they're more willing to hold on to their Bitcoin ETFs rather than to their Ethereum ETFs. And that's causing the bigger price crashes on Ethereum. So yeah, you shorted every Bitcoin top, but you have problems of finding bottoms. That's cool. Because of 2022. Interesting. Okay. Well, I would warn you that this is my perspective, okay? We are close to just short-term bottoming out because really, like, apart from this, there's really no other reason for us to be dropping, right? I see a very bullish outlook for the fourth quarter of this year. A lot of people do. And there's going to be a lot of buying happening. That's just a fact. So you're going to have to look at probably determining where to take profits from your shorts. I'm not sure if I would hold it all the way until Q4 because that would be a little risky, in my opinion. Just saying. Not financial advice, of course. Yeah. Yeah, it would get spooky too, right? I wouldn't know, I wouldn't be able to tell you where exactly the bottoms are. Me, because I'm longing most of it, I try to find support levels where I can, but I actually enter at those levels. So you could try looking at where I'm putting my trigger orders. That could give you an idea of where I'm expecting price to fall. I guess that would help you out. You're in a more bearish swing mentality now because of almost 3-year bull run on Bitcoin. I agree that it has felt a bit overextended, but I mean, just looking at the cycles, the 4-year Bitcoin cycles, they've just been taking a little longer and a little longer to hit the top as the cycles go on, right? And this one, I feel like we definitely have not hit our cycle top yet. There's no way. S&P 500 dollar index, yeah. The dollar index will continue getting weaker though. We're expecting 2 more rate cuts for the end of this year. That weakens the US dollar. S&P 500, that mainly has to do with all the tariff stuff, I guess. The big tariff spook that happened since April. Every company was expecting we're going to have bad earnings because everything is going to be more expensive and the tariffs are going to be the cause of inflation. But as time has gone on, we've noticed that it actually hasn't impacted the economy that much in terms of like the inflation, I guess. The economic data that we've been getting has been bad enough for us to get a rate cut that was mainly for risk management that they said. So after seeing like all this data come out and seeing how the companies have been performing after the next couple of quarters, I'm sure a lot of them have removed the expectation that they will be doing bad for the end of this year and actually added the expectation that they will be performing better. So that is part of the reason why I'm seeing stock markets, why I think stock markets are at all-time high levels and deserved, right? They've been doing well. The tariffs have even played in their favor in some cases, right? Like when nobody expects some levels in crypto because they basically happen because they're max paying usually, so nobody expects. If you are like going to be shorting, I guess, I would look at the liquidation charts because you see where everybody is putting their long positions and you know how hard it is going to drop once that cascade of liquidation events starts happening. I do the same, but as a long positioner, I look for short positions that could start getting liquidated. As of right now, we already went high, like in terms of Bitcoin. We hit that 118 almost, right? And that's where I was looking at all these liquidations, the short liquidations to get removed. But from there, of course, we needed a bigger catalyst to like push us up to at least 120,000, get those shorts liquidated, but it seems like those ones prevailed. I might as well just pull up the liquidation chart. And so, yeah, not enough strength and it caused this to drop ultimately. Part of the reason why we're down here as well. Inflation can come with Trump tariff, plus economy going good means no cut and possible CPI rise as we got last time. Yeah. That's why we were looking for tomorrow's data as well. Because it has to do with inflation. We don't want it too high. Here's the long liquidations, right? The yellower, it's the more money that is in here, of course. I don't see a lot of yellow from this point lower. Minimum, like, honestly, there's nothing getting liquidated at 106,000. So just forget that, right? At this point, I feel like this is where people would start loading up, accumulating from here. Part of the reason why I also believe we are practically nearing a bottom at this point. I have not looked at other assets though. Let me have a look at Ethereum, see if I'm right here as well. I mean, yeah, similar deal. A lot of longs getting liquidated below 4,000. At 4,000 or below, right? Of course, it's not as yeah, orange, yellow, white, whatever the color is. It starts getting like purple and dark, fading black, because there's not a lot of longs to be liquidated anymore. Lots of them got liquidated over here, causing a huge cascade all the way down there, of course. But from here, it's like there's not much else that can be liquidated if it does continue dropping. And at these cheap prices, we start seeing whales accumulating once again. I think that could be a bottom indicator. Really big time frame for this. Max is 6 months. Oh no, there's more. There's a year. And let me go back to Bitcoin. I'm also curious to see what this will look like. I'm not sure if you could really see it, but yeah. Lots of longs to be liquidated around here. Although we're approaching it. This is really laggy. It's too much data. Yeah. Does it say what it is? Yeah, September 25. So for shorts, it's anything above 118,000 would shoot us up to 120,000. For longs, it's more like anything below 107,000 could either push us to 106, which like that's a little too close. There's a bit of purple here. It's not a lot. And then 104,000 to 103,000. 100,000, there's like barely anything here. So it's like really, really difficult for price to go below 100,000 at that point. We would need like a really bad catalyst that would push price lower, where everybody would agree to short Bitcoin. I don't know, quantum computing. But yeah, no. After that, I don't think. I think we might have found a bottom here, to be honest. If for whatever reason we start getting bad economic data tomorrow, like inflation is higher than expected, we could see something like this happen, right? Another dip to maybe 106,000. That's all I could really see. But from here, honestly, considering the data could be well, I think we could rise back up to maybe 112,000, above 111. So yeah, that's my little view for you. Okay, I want to check Solana. That was an entry right there and I missed it, huh? All right. I could still try it. So Solana is great, by the way. There was no issue with the network congesting or anything today. I purchased more Solana on spot. I tried buying like 20,000 Canadian, but the banks restrict you from using too much money, so I had to go very, very little. Here's my next action if data is bad tomorrow, is just to continue buying the next dip. I don't have to worry about liquidation. I'm not going to be closing any positions. I'll just be adding more to them, basically. And that's part of why I transferred some Solana over, right, to this exchange. And at the time, the price of Solana was 202, 203. I'm like, I'll put a take profit at 204, a limit order to sell my Solana so I could get USDT so I could trade with it, right, as collateral on futures. That didn't happen, and we just ended up continually dropping here. So I still have my Solana on spot. I also have Sonic, by the way. Sonic, really, really good. Really fast, really cheap. Love Sonic. Solana killer for sure. But yeah, so that's what I'm at with We're just like really oversold at these levels, honestly. They're good for entering longs though. I know I wanted to add 20,000, but like, for example, an e-transfer, we only are allowed to sell 3,000 Canadian, which is 2,000 American, which is nothing in my opinion. Um, and what was worse is that I tried doing a bank transfer, like 1,500. It said it was available instantly. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll use that 1,500. I'll buy some Solana and I'll transfer it out. And then I get the message of like, oh, you're not allowed to send out your Solana because you just recently transferred funds from your bank, which it can take up to 5 days. The funds are there for you to buy Solana, which I did. I bought Solana on spot around what would have been 202, 203. And then I can't transfer it over here so that I could sell it for USDT or USDC and multiply my volatility at 3x. Which, it's fine, I guess, for now. I still have some money available. And I'm still being cautious for what could happen tomorrow, of course. I don't want to go all in right now. If I knew like there was no more economic data, I probably would have gone all in by now. But I know we're getting PCE data tomorrow, so that's my expectation for it. It's a daily limit that I have, right? So tomorrow I'll be able to send another 3,000 Canadian. That's 2,000 American that I'll send over by Solana as well here. Although probably with a different method, because I disapprove of that limited spending thing. But anyways, yeah, overall, Solana dips to 176 or 177, I think. I'll be buying that. I might as well get an order ready. How much do I have in Solana? It should be up here. 1,500. That is nothing. I think I will go ahead and just averaging out these two levels. Okay. All right. I cannot do math. This divided by 2. Thank you. So that's my entry price for Solana, and I'm dropping 1,000 on it. Yep, shamelessly. I know. I've got nothing to lose. Well, I only have $200 left. I'll be fine. I don't know from where else I could source funds. It's all just limited to my bank. It won't let me transfer. Otherwise, I'd be loading up heavily. But whatever. So there's that. That's my opinion on Solana for now. XRP is totally fine. It's still on the game plan. I wouldn't touch this at all. It's doing well. And I know I don't have a lot in it. How much do I have? Not Stellar. XRP. Am I blind? Here. 1,000. Yeah, it's barely anything. It's less than what I have in Solana. But I don't want to go a little too crazy on XRP, so I'll just leave it there. But it's been holding up pretty well. I'll admit that. Ever since I bought over here. Held it till up here, never took profit. It's basically back down to my entry. That's all. So I'll leave it there. Do I do something else for work or just trading? I don't work. I'm only trading at this point. I am open to work, but it's rough. I can't get a response from any employers. Or maybe I'm looking for the wrong jobs. I'd be fine even if it's like a part-time thing. Like just give me any source of income, right? Just to pay like the dumb monthly bills that you have to cover. The essential stuff, I guess. And let me just trade with the rest. But honestly, like trading has been doing really good for me these past year and a half. Maybe it's almost 2 years now. In February or March. It's been doing really well, and like I'm making more with trading than what I have been making at a normal job, because I did used to work. I used to work for 4 years. But I've been making more with trading so far, and I don't know. At this pace, I don't think I'll ever go back to work. And I'm fine with that. I'm happy that this got filled on Sui. So it increased my position. It dropped their average price basically back down to 332. I think it was here before. I rose it a little bit because I got a little desperate, thinking that Sui would not drop anymore, but it ended up dropping more. So the next trigger order was there. How much did it get filled? 314. I rose it from like 310, which ultimately that would have been filled either way. We had a low of 306 on Sui. Sui I love so much. So, yeah. Hey, they say never marry your bags. I've already got 5,500 dropped on this darn coin. We'll see. I think it'll be fine. Cardano as well. Apparently also filled an order that I had at 80. We dropped to a low of 75. Was not expecting that, to be honest, but hey, got surprised. Was to be expected, but I just decided not to give it much attention. I could have put the trigger order down here, but I don't know. I wasn't expecting Cardano to drop that much, but there we go. It ended up doing it. We're still oversold. 77.7. It's fine still. I'm not changing much on it. How much do I have exposition? Cardano, 1,250. Excluding all that commission. I'm getting charged heavily on fees right now. Chainlink is gone, by the way. Uptrend, bye-bye. I just deleted Fibonacci. Whoops. We're at that support, though. That's where we're slowing down. 2009. We hit a low of 1986. Okay. My average price is still a little high. 22. Yeah, that's what I didn't want to do with Chainlink. I'll admit I FOMO'd into it. I was looking at it like rise significantly. Okay, I gotta lock this in place or something. I was witnessing it rise like that so much, and I'm like, yeah, I sniped Chainlink over here perfectly, and I also sniped it over here perfectly. A couple of occasions I've had perfect entries on Chainlink, but I sold a bit too early, and it just kept on rising. So then I was like, you know what, Chainlink, good project, I need to buy. I think I bought one of these on the spot market. Not spot market, market price, I mean. And even still, it's gone against me. Oversold at this area, though. How much lower can we go, realistically? Down here? Might have something ready for it, if that is the case. Although at the moment, I don't think I'll touch that. World Liberty Finance. I'm pretty sure we're close to my entry. Yeah, still at 19 cents. 19 cents is also my entry. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about this. Hasn't been crashing as much, so good for World Liberty Finance. I mean, it did drop from a recent high, a local high, so it had enough to cushion the landing, I would say. Stellar keeps dropping here. This is a double floor. We're about to hit it the third time. It's not good at 34. Current price is at 35 though. Stellar's doing all right, I guess. 49 cents. That's inevitable though. Realistically, only problem is the long bull market that can drop fast and hard. That's true. But I like to ideally I want to be patient with it. Because I had cash on the side for like the longest time, like since July, I would say. Since July, I took a big profit in July. I've been holding cash on hand for such a long time, all throughout the rest of July, August, and we're in September. And I'm like, okay, when am I actually gonna use up all this capital that I have? I gotta start buying aggressively. And I did mainly on Bitcoin, which I'm proud of. I'm not disappointed with it. And I was like, okay, and you're right, yeah, my strategy is only long. So I was like, when are we gonna get those market crashes? I don't see any bad news for the foreseeable future. I gotta start going in. And I'll admit, I did FOMO a little bit. Started buying into a lot of other alts. Responsibly, right? I didn't go a little too crazy. Some I didn't really want to enter, but I just decided, like, what am I going to do with the money? Let it at least let it be losing something so that I know my money is doing something. But then I got a little too carried away, I would say. I still have good entries. I'm not complaining about it. And I thought, yeah, Q4 is coming. Alt season is coming. We're seeing a lot of indicators pointing toward an alt season. And I'm like, okay, I might be late. I don't want to miss it. So I'll load up even if it's at these prices. And then we got this, the good entries right over here, because we did not see oversold areas on something like Stellar for a while, right? Like actually oversold. Since beginning of August, yeah, maybe. But now we're actually seeing it happen more frequently. So now's the time. And that's why I'm trying to get as much money as I can in here either way to just start buying all these dips. So yeah, nothing really changed for the rest of my holdings. They're all just doing the same thing there. Nothing in risk of liquidation. So wake me up when that happens. Moving on, let's get to our news section. All right, cool. So here's the economic data we got. US quarter 2 GDP grew 3.8%, beating the 3.3 forecasts. That was a big surprise, big leap. We actually grew more than expected. Core durable goods orders rose 0.4% in August versus the loss of 0.1% that was expected, meaning that the economy is doing great. Why would we have to cut rates if the economy is doing great, is what most people interpreted from this. On top of that, we had jobless claims dropping to 218,000 jobless claims, which came in less than we expected. We expected more people to be jobless, but not a lot of people are jobless, meaning that the labor market is fine. Why would you need to cut rates if the labor market is fine? Also part of the reason why the markets got spooked, right? It disincentivizes the rate cuts. That's what most people got from this economic data. Nonetheless, Trump still says that the interest rates are too high due to Fed Chair Jerome Powell's incompetence. Yeah. We still have Trump calling for lower rates. I guess that's fine, but Powell disagrees. He might disagree. Who knows? Over the last 60 minutes, or 90 minutes, I'd say, at this point, Trump has announced 100% tariff on pharmaceuticals, 50% tariff on kitchen cabinets, 50% tariff on bathroom vanities and associated products, 30% tariff on upholstered furniture, 25% tariff on heavy trucks, and he said he would cut interest rates down to 2%, of course criticizing Jerome Powell. Trade war might be back, also part of the reason why we're dropping. In case you're not aware, Wall Street does not like the tariff stuff. Even though we've seen it in effect, sure, it's got paused for a moment. Yeah, when it got paused, markets started rallying. When it happened, Liberation Day, markets were crashing. We're now getting tariffs getting imposed left, right, and center once again, and markets are not really liking that. They sell the most risky assets that they would consider to be crypto, and that's part of the reason why we're seeing a lot of outflows also coming from like ETFs and stuff like that. So it's not that great. Here's more details on why Trump is putting these tariffs on. So starting October 1st is when they take effect. Specifically for the pharmaceutical products, they will be imposing a 100% tariff on any branded or patented pharmaceutical product unless the company is building their pharmaceutical manufacturing plant in America. Is building will be defined as breaking ground and or under construction. There will therefore be no tariff on these pharmaceutical products if the construction has started. So he's doing this to try to get more people into the United States, more pharmaceutical companies into the net. I cannot talk today. It's really hot in my room. Yeah, get more pharmaceutical companies in the United States. Okay, you know what? Moving on. In order to protect our great heavy truck manufacturers from unfair outside competition, we will be imposing, as of October 1st as well, 25% tariff on all heavy big trucks made in other parts of the world. He wants everything made in America. Therefore, a great large truck company manufacturers such as Peterbilt, Kenworth, Freightliner, Mack Trucks, and others will be protected from the onslaught of outside interruptions. We need our truckers to be financially healthy and strong for many reasons, but above all, for national security purposes. Cool, I guess I could agree with that. 4 reasons why the crypto market is dumping hard this week. Tomorrow, options expiry. I agree with this one. $23 billion in Bitcoin and Ethereum options are set to expire. It's a quarterly options expiration and often brings high volatility. One would say, yeah, but we got the triple witching last week. But this is a bit different, specifically for Bitcoin and Ethereum. The other triple witching had to do with other assets, right? So it didn't fully impact it, but still had an effect on the markets nonetheless. Although I'd say slightly, was it slightly positive last week Wednesday? Might have been 19. Yeah, we were up here on the 19th. And then, okay, it was negative actually. Yeah, we started dropping after that. After the triple witching. I remember that now. Okay. Max pain for Bitcoin prices 110,000 and 3,700 for Ethereum. Usually whales drive prices towards the max pain, and that's what is happening because they want to be right when their contracts expire, right? That's how they make the gains, or that's how they don't lose money, I would say. So we do have Bitcoin at 100 below 110,000, so congratulations on that. 3,700 for Ethereum. We did approach it. We're at 3,900 currently. We hit a low of 3,824. Might still happen though, so be prepared for 3,700 Ethereum. US government shutdown. This is all just... I feel like they always talk about this and it's a nothing burger most of the time. The odds of a US government shutdown by October 1st is now at 67%. I don't know. I think it might be a shaky start to October at this point. I do have some good news that will happen by end of month, but then, like, I think the tariff stuff happening October 1st, government shutdown threats October 1st, that's a bit too much. Markets may not like that. I think we're pricing that in at the current moment. In the past, US government shutdowns have resulted in market correction, and this is why people are panicking. The government shutdown, from my understanding, it's basically government agents on strike, I guess, not working, not providing they're not providing their services except for the essential services, right? The government just refuses to work in a form of protest, I would assume, from the Democrats. I think it was Senator Chuck Schumer being the ringleader of all that. The little bit of research that I've done on it, that's all I know. Strong economic data. So today we got Q2 GDP revised data that came in at 3.8% versus the 3.3% that was expected. The good economic data, it's bullish in the long term, which is true, right? We're getting good economic data. Why are you mad? But it lowers the chances of our rate cuts. The rate cuts, oh no, the 2 rate cuts that we were expecting by the end of the year is probably not going to happen. I have not looked at the percentages, to be fair, but I don't think that that's a big change. We should still be getting 2 rate cuts by the end of the year. Even the Feds projected it. Come on. So this is maintaining rates. 15% chance we maintain rates. 85% chance we cut rates. That's fine. Still in our favor. And we still have 1, 2 rate cuts for the rest of this year. Come on now. What else? Excessive leverage. I'll agree with this one too. In the past week, retail opened high leverage positions due to the perps DEX hype. That's interesting. I actually did not even think of that. How did I not think of that? We're seeing Aster gain popularity. We're seeing Avantis gain popularity. Hyperliquid, also, like the people who are bullish on Hyperliquid, shorting those other stuff and trying to, you know, have Hyperliquid stay on top. The DEX war. We're seeing Justin Sun tweet more about his Sun DEX more frequently. I'm hearing talks of Bluefin from Sui DEX. Or, what was it? Celsius? It's not Celsius. Celius, something like that. I forgot the name of it. The one that got hacked. The Sui DEX that got hacked. Whatever. There's all this talk about the decentralized exchanges with perpetuals. At one point, alt's open interest was almost 2 times that of Bitcoin, and right now those people are getting liquidated, which is causing a market dump. That is so true. I've not even looked at Aster. I'm sure we are dropping, because there's nowhere we are rising amidst all this. Finally, 23% crashed. Much deserved at last. There we go. I don't know why I'm happy about it dropping, but yeah, it was just annoying to see it all over the place the whole time. In conclusion, I think this is a perfect setup by whales to panic sell your coins before Q4, before the 4th quarter of this year. They started in September in a bullish way to make people think that it'll be up only. I'll admit, I kind of felt it, yeah? But now the whales are dumping, so people panic sell before the Q4 rally. But the panic selling, I think most of the damage has already been done. How much lower can we go? And expecting for tomorrow's economic data. Okay, what else do we got? October 1st. That's all. $23 billion in Bitcoin and Ethereum options will be expiring tomorrow. Government shutdown odds are going up. October rates probability is going down. It seems like more buying opportunities are coming. I still think we are getting both rate cuts for the end of this year. It just has to be that way. Another part of the reason why we could be crashing, apart from those mentioned before, is the escalation, potential escalation in Russia-Ukraine's war now that NATO might as well just be getting involved. The Russian ambassador warns that World War III will start if NATO shoots down Russian planes invading their airspace, something that Donald Trump at the United Nations told the NATO leaders is like, yeah, if you see any Russian planes or anything like that flying in your airspace, just shoot it down. And that's something that Finland has already been doing. Poland, which I think is neutral, but they're still doing it nonetheless. And now all of the NATO countries have the green light to do this as well. Russia, of course, does not like this. Sergei Lavrov speaks and says the European Union and NATO have announced and declared war on my country. They're directly participating already in this war. That is with, funding Ukraine, giving them weapons, and encouraging them to complete the war, which it's a 180 also from what Trump has been doing, and I discussed this before. Trump wanted to end the war. He said he would end it on day one when he got inaugurated. That didn't happen. He made good proposals and everything. He did try his best. Recently, just last month, we had Zelensky over at the United States. We had Putin over at the United States. End the war. Set up a new meeting. They didn't want to. Trump is now washing his hands from all this, and he's like, you know what? Go kill each other. I wish you best of luck. You might as well go win this war, Ukraine. We'll give you the weapons. We'll give you whatever you want. And hey, NATO guys, start sanctioning India and China. Like, that's the only attack angle the United States really has at this point, is economically attacking Russia by putting sanctions, putting tariffs on India and on China, the biggest buyers of Russian oil, to cripple the Russian economy. That way they can stop funding the war, and hopefully maybe then they'll start coming to the table for a ceasefire talk. But, yeah, with those little words going around, the Russians are not liking it. Medvedev also warns America, saying, we have weapons so advanced that even bomb shelters cannot protect you. The US should remember this. Remember, they got into a little bit of a threat war, Donald Trump and former President Medvedev from Russia, saying like, hey, don't forget, we've got, what was it called? The dead hand, or yeah, I think it was the dead hand. It's basically the system where if somebody nukes Russia, there's this automated system that would counter nuke even after they have been attacked, to send nukes back to whatever country nuked them, right? And Trump is like, did you just say the N-word? Did you just say nuclear? And then he just started sending like nuclear submarines over to Russian borders, and they're like, hey, watch out. We've got you in our radars, pal. You better not be threatening us. So I guess they kind of relaxed a little bit after that, but it's kind of starting to come up again. Markets don't really like that. We don't like to see war. We don't like none of that. That is why $170 billion just in the past 24 hours, gone. Magic internet money disappear from the crypto market cap. So that's a great time to buy. It'll eventually come back. Among those, Andrew Tate, of all people, he got liquidated on a Bitcoin long position, losing $93,000 on Hyperliquid, of course. You can track all of his trades on Hyperliquid. That's the beauty of it. But a lot of people don't like that. For being a DEX, there's a lot of like stop hunting and people just working to get you liquidated. That was a big thing when Hyperliquid first started gaining a lot of popularity early in the year, where everybody was like, oh, this Hyperliquid whale is longing, let's short him. Or this Hyperliquid whale is shorting before some major news event. He must know something. He's naming himself Tetherfud Who knows what this means? We're going to try to long him, and you get a huge group chat of these crypto bros on Twitter working together, putting a lot of money in Bitcoin, trying to pump it up to liquidate this person's short position. The guy just keeps adding margin to increase his liquidation price. So you get that kind of stuff going on. Anyways, that's all just to say the beauty of Hyperliquid. There you go. All right, time for some words of encouragement. Do not be afraid, people who are longing. There's no easy way to say it. Most people are not built for crypto. Stop crying in the timeline. If you think it's all over, leave. Your weakness fuels people like me who understand what's going on. Dips at this stage of the cycle are gifts, and that's the way I'm taking it. I didn't make millions by following the crowd when everyone got nervous. I made them by selling when everyone thought it would never end. Use your brain or become another lost soul complaining that it's too hard. Get along or go along. Me and my followers are about to print. Most people are about to capitulate and lose. Connect the dots or stay broke. This part over here, selling when everyone thought it would never end. I think it's just important for you to think logically and say, how high can this go realistically in this cycle? Set a target, put a take profit there, and let it ride. That's kind of the thing that I've been doing for most of my coins. As of right now, the other half of them are in the red. That's why you only see the first half with take profits, the other half without take profits. I think it's exactly half and half. Anyway, yeah, I've got to look into them and think logically like, okay, how much has this risen? What was the market caps in the past? Is it inflationary? Probably yes. The market cap that we have now, is it higher than the current price than what it was in the past? I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, things like that. You got to think logically and think, okay, I see this token hitting a take profit of, hitting a price target of this, and I'm putting my take profit there. That's the kind of way I've been doing it. For Bitcoin specifically, I have mine at 135,000. And I have my reasons. So yeah. Put targets on it. See, if you survive the September dump, we will get the October pump. Everybody is optimistic for October. We're getting ETFs in October too. Don't forget that. If you sell here, you'll be buying back higher. Same thing every single time, which is true. Some of the previous dips I did not take full advantage of. If I did buy, I was buying a little bit too little. And that's what ultimately made me want to just increase my positions, feeling like it was too late. But no, there will always be opportunities in the markets, and just stick with your strategy. Enter when you feel like you should be entering. Not when you feel like, but when you know that you should be entering. Because you will know. You have your indicators. Everybody uses different indicators. They have different areas of where they expect price to come down to. If you're going long like I am, you find those support levels, determine whether or not price will be oversold, enter. That's my way of thinking. And we shouldn't really bet against Q4. Bitcoin seasonality average monthly performance. We see that the best months for Bitcoin are typically around this time, end of the year. Now that won't always be right though, because we usually see September being the worst month for Bitcoin. But this month, this month might actually end up being red still. What's the monthly candle looking like? I don't have a monthly chart. 1 month. Are we red yet? No, we're slightly green. If we go below 107,000, we'll end September red. That'll suck. But I don't think that's going to happen. Because like we started September so low at 107,000. It's like, what, are we going to drop lower than that to end of the month? Probably not. Hopefully not. I saw this post, and it's misinformation. It's just stating this beforehand, that China's local governments sold 15,000 bitcoins, which was worth $1.25 billion via offshore private entities. Keep in mind, China is estimated to have 195,000 bitcoins, almost 200,000. And I'm pretty sure I did cover this news far in the past, and Grok confirms that, yeah, this is actually fake. Not really fake news, because it did happen, but it's just late. It's old news. It happened back in April 2025. It's not recent. But, you know, People were asking, is this the reason why Bitcoin is crashing? No, it was too old. Why Bitcoin is crashing is because of the revised GDP data, reducing rate cut hopes, and the upcoming PCE inflation figures as key factors. Not this. It's multifactorial. So just calling this out. Robinhood. Hey, Marin Alt, if you want a short, you can now do that on Robinhood soon. Vlad Tenev, CEO, said, "We hear the bears. We'll enable shorting soon." That'll be funny. This is the big news. Rex Osprey is making big moves, honestly. They launched the first Ethereum staking ETF in the United States. Great. What's the ticker? Do we see it here? No. This ETF is a game changer for Ethereum. Direct staking rewards within a regulated product finally open to US investors. Now anyone can gain a yield and spot price exposure through a traditional brokerage without wrestling validators or lockups. I'm pretty sure this would make people favor this ETF over the other ones because of the staking factor, right? And Rex has already been releasing the XRP ETF that exists now, and the Dogecoin ETF that actually exists now. But it's only Rex for whatever reason. The Solana with staking also already exists, and now we just got this one today, Ethereum staking ETF from Rex Osprey. They're doing a good job. I want to know the ticker. Hold on. SSK? No, that's the Solana one. I forgot to put Ethereum. How bright of me, huh? It's ESK. Okay. Ethereum staking. I guess that's what it is. Just want to look at the price, how much it is. I know we're not having data on it, but it's just I want to see what it's like. Okay, so it's in the 20s. That's affordable for an ETF. It looks really good. All right, that's good. Happy for them. It exists. It's official. Why are we sad? Come on. Also, this is the little good news that I have for the end of the month. If you're really concerned with October 1st, FTX will be returning the $1.6 billion to creditors on September 30th. I actually don't even remember if I covered it yesterday. I'm pretty sure I did, but just in case, reminder, end of this month, 1.6 billion coming to the markets. $1 billion minted on USDT on Ethereum from Tether. That's obviously to buy these dips. People are loading up, I'm telling you. Aptos, just a small analysis here that I want to give my take on. So this person says a strong triple bottom formation is building a solid base. A breakout above the key resistance zone could unleash a major rally and a potential target of $100. That's where I have my doubts. $100. Okay, time to pull out the CoinMarketCap charts on Aptos. And I mean, I agree with, for the most part, that, yeah, this is a very important bottom, and we are on it right now. How much lower can we go on Aptos, really? That is why I loaded up on Aptos, and I might even just buy more, honestly. Oh, yeah. You know what? Just because I'm going all in on Aptos. The rest of my USDC goes to Aptos. Congratulations. There you go. We're doing it live. Potential target of $100. Okay. This is where I have my doubts. Let's have a look at the market cap here. We peaked our market cap at 7.61 billion. And the price at that time, it's been higher in the past with less of a market cap. Market cap of 2 billion means a price of $18. Okay. But that's because there was less coins in circulation. As time goes on, there are more coins in circulation. Next time we hit a high of $17, the market cap was a little higher. It went to 7 billion, not to almost 3 billion when price was even higher. So that should just give you an indicator that, yeah, it's an inflationary one. Sure. Where we are currently is, it's fine, I guess. I'm sure the inflationary thing kind of slowed down a little bit. We had a 7.61 billion market cap with a price of not even us hitting as high as we were when it was 3 billion. So 7 billion market cap equals $14. We're not $3.90, just below $4. Okay. For us to hit $100 at this rate, I think I'm going to have to pull out the calculator. All right. So how am I going to do this? We need the price of $100 divided by the circulating supply, which at this time is 702 million. I don't know how much it will be as time goes on. I'm doing this backwards, I think. 702,570,000 divided by $100. No, I cannot do math, honestly. I've struggled with this kind of math for such a long time, and I was embarrassed myself live because of it. Okay. Market cap divided by... Oh, I'm doing market cap instead of tokens. Is that it? Or do I just multiply? I think I have to multiply. So 100, that's what it is then. 702, 570. So we need a $70 billion market cap. That's exactly what that means, which means Aptos to number 7. Yeah, that's not going to happen, guys. Just letting you know. Debunked. There you go. Where do I expect it to? Anything less than Sui. Where are we with Sui right now? 15? No, not even that high. I think that's too bullish for Aptos. I'd put it near Toncoin and Kronos, which makes it a 6 billion market cap. 6 billion market cap for this circulating supply currently, as long as this doesn't increase. Whereas this darn coin, I lost it. Aptos 702, 570. There's your price prediction for Aptos, $8.54. Does that align with what I have my take profit at? I'm just curious. I put mine at $12. That's a little too high, isn't it? I think I'll reduce my take profit to $8.54. I'll literally do that. $8.54. It'll give me 6,629 if that is the case. That's how I kind of give or take do my price targets for some of these assets, if you care or asked at all. Anyways, my last bit of news. Sam Altman with his ChatGPT thing, rolling out new updates. He's launching a favorite feature of ChatGPT so far called Pulse, initially available to Pro subscribers. What Pulse will do is work for you overnight, keeps thinking about your interests, your connected data, your recent chats, and everything more. It's kind of like the bot gets to know you personally kind of thing. Every morning, you will get a custom generated set of stuff that you might be interested in. These are examples over here, like, oh, I'd like to visit Bora Bora. My kid is 6 months old. I'm interested in developmental milestones. And ChatGPT will tell you more about what you're interested in. It's like a super competent personal assistant. Sometimes you ask for things you need in the moment, but if you share your general preferences, it will do a job for you proactively. It'll like reach out to you instead and say, it's like a messaging app, I guess. It will talk to you instead of you asking a question prompt and you get a response immediately after. Now ChatGPT will be the one instigating that with its new Pulse feature. A shift from being all reactive to being significantly proactive and extremely personalized. It's an early look available only to Pro subscribers who will work hard to improve the quality over time and find a way to bring it to Plus subscribers too. Oh, so it's not even going to go to the free version. Haha, you're broke. 13% of retail investors now use ChatGPT to pick stocks, with the robo-advisory market projected to grow 600% by 2029. I think AI is going to take over all this, guys. I don't know. If that's true, AI, we're looking at, should I just do this right now, live? All right. I'm going to open a new tab over here. Stay logged out. Give me a price prediction for Bitcoin by end of year 2025. There we go. Give me a price prediction for Bitcoin by the end of year 2025. It's telling us my best estimated range, 150 to 200,000. Baseline central case scenario. That's like normal. Yes or yes, it's going to hit that. And me being quote unquote conservative, putting my target at 135,000 when ChatGPT tells me it's 150,000. I don't know. I don't know if I fully trust the robo-advisory stuff. I try to stay away from it. I do technically use it for my own research purposes. Like I'll ask it a question like, hey, what does this mean in the crypto or in the crypto space? What does this have to do with that? That kind of stuff. Just get general knowledge. But I don't personally go to ChatGPT asking it for financial advice. Should I go long or should I go short on the market today? It's like, okay, nobody really knows. Not even the best AI, honestly. But if you want to do it, I mean, nobody's stopping you. But I advise against this. That's just me, though. You do you. There we go. So I am now broke. I have USDT still. Might buy... I'm happy with this Hyperliquid purchase. I always wanted Hyperliquid, and I still think it will do good. It is just mainly crashing, of course, of the macroeconomic outlook of the crypto market, but also because of this whole, the DEX war. I think it might start losing a little bit to Aster, at least in 24-hour volume. That's what most people are looking at, which, I don't know. I don't know if I fully agree with it. There's that. What else do I have in USDT? BitTensor. I'm sure I must purchase more of this, huh? Oh yeah, we're definitely lower. Do I even have any orders? Solana and Aave. Is Aave even going to get filled? Probably not. But I'll still have it there nonetheless. Because I do want to lower my average price on Aave. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just ignore Aave and buy something else. What is not that exposed right now? Oh, Sonic has been doing really bad, by the way. I don't talk about it much, but yeah. Dropped to a low of 22. Me struggling to buy below 30. Remember all this buying over here? Me like, oh, please just go below 30. Well, now we're below 30. There you go. Enjoy it. Now I don't have money to buy. I do, but I don't want to. And if I do, it's not going to drop my average price by much. The only good news is silver lining is super trend dropped to 27. That's where we have a resistance now. So I guess that's good. We're just got to hope for the best for tomorrow. And I'll end off by... Why is this light theme? My eyeballs, my eye sockets. Do I have to like... Okay, there we go. Whatever. I don't think this is the right way. I'm pretty sure it has its own like dark theme thing, but whatever. It hurts my eyes. Okay. PCE price index. We gotta hope that it comes at least in line with expectations. At most. Or have this drop. Like less than our expectations, 0.3% previously. The consensus actually is 0.2%, so we need it 0.2% or lower for us to start pumping. I don't know if we're gonna hit that. Just saying. We have more Fed speeches as well. Musalim, Bostic, Barkin, Bowman, Hammock. What do these guys have so much to say for? Just leave us alone. Or just tell us that we're getting the rate cuts that we want. That's all we want to hear. Next week. JOLTS, jobs openings. Sometimes that'll impact the market. ISM, PMI, manufacturing. Okay. Oh, non-farm payrolls next week. That'll be really good. Unemployment and non-farm payrolls. Oh boy. Volatile week next week too. Okay. Might be a bumpy road by the time we get to beginning of October. But hey, that's coming pretty soon. I didn't realize how close we are to ending this month. It's September 25. Yeah, we're almost there. Yep. As Do Kwon would say, steady lads. I think we will survive this. Now's the opportunity to buy, in my opinion. That's what I've been doing, putting my money where my mouth is, as best as I can. October should be good. At least, like, middle to end. Don't expect gains tomorrow. Like, when I say tomorrow, I'm not talking about the PCE stuff. I'm talking, like, from night to morning, you expect to become a millionaire the next day. It's a process that takes time. That's all I'm going to say about it. All right, cool. That's where I'll end the stream, guys. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe. I thank you guys for the support. I'm seeing all that. It makes me really happy. And tomorrow, Friday, we'll see what happens with PCE. All right, stay tuned for that. We'll cover it. Have a good evening. Bye.